Duke Kahanamoku, known as the father of modern surfing, was born in 1890 in Waikiki, Hawaii. The favorite Hawaiian pastime of surfing was discouraged in 1821 by European missionaries and branded as immoral. Duke Kahanamoku is responsible for what is commonly known as the resurrection of surfing. As his childhood developed, Duke dropped out of McKinley High School. He then moved on, earning his living as a beach boy and stevedore at the Honolulu Harbor docks. In his spare time, Duke surfed with his brothers and entertained tourists with tandem rides. Although he was named after a wealthy visitor to Hawaii, he remained poor throughout his life. Duke's career started off as an Olympic swimmer. In this time, Duke won a gold medal at both the 1912 Olympics in Stockholm, 1920 Olympics in Antwerp in the 100 meters. At the 1924 Olympics in Paris, he placed second, obtaining the silver medal in the 100-meter yet again.
Aloha, but the point is, traveling with my Olympic swimming team also afforded me the chance to demonstrate surfing wherever there was a satisfactory surf.
Duke's global appeal was more important than his expertise in the water. Despite encountering racism throughout his extensive travels, his aloha spirit brought unique attention to the Hawaiian Islands.
Aloha spirit is the coordination of mind, heart, and soul within each person.
On December 23, 1914, Duke showed up in Freshwater Beach, Australia, where he shocked spectators with his wave-riding demonstrations. He crafted his board from a local sugar pine. To the crowd's amazement, he took a young woman by the name of Isabel Latham for a tandem surf ride, which made her the country's first surfer. This surfing exhibition is widely regarded as the most significant day in the development of surfing in Australia.
Aloha! I must have put on a show that more than trapped their fancy, for the crowds on shore applauded me long and loud. There had been no way of knowing that they would go for it in the manner in which they did. The Aussies became instant converts.
The 1910s were a decade of great change for America. During this decade, the United States was first considered as a world leader. America became the most highly industrialized country during this time. The first moving assembly line began in 1914. The mass production of cars created a nationwide prosperity. This resulted in one of the most intense social changes in America's history. Popular culture became a national product for the United States. All over the world, people were dancing our dances, listening to our jazz tunes, wearing our fashions, and buying our products. Kahanamoku's demonstrations continued through the decade. He established surfing in the East Coast beginning in New Jersey. He then moved on to give demonstrations to several West Coast destinations.
The first Duke Kahanamoku Invitational Surfing Championships were held at Sunset Beach on Oahu's North Shore. This became an international event in 1966. It featured 24 of the world's best surfers and was broadcast on Easter Sunday as a CBS sports spectacular. Viewership for the program was estimated at between 40 and 50 million people, the largest television audience for a surfing contest up to that time.
While on tour in Southern California, Duke and his team of surfing gurus made a stop in Malibu. They arrived in a vintage Rolls-Royce with surfboards strapped onto its top. The Hollywood-style entrance received national television coverage.
Aloha! My boys and I, we showed them how to go surfing.
During the 1960s, the identity of the surfer began to change. Surfers developed their own language. They could be spotted by their suntans and the casual clothes that they wore. Before long, surf music and movies helped bring surfing style to young people all over the United States. The Beach Boys began recording music that appealed to high schoolers. California surfers used skateboards as a way to stay fit out of the season, and by 1963, the fad had spread across the country. Duke was an example of the changing identity of that time period. He had long, lean arms, powerful legs, and a well-defined upper body conforming to the sporting image.
The 60s were the age of youth as 70 million children from the post-war baby boom became teenagers and young adults. The movement away from the conservative 50s continued and resulted in change in the cultural fabric of American life. The civil rights movement also occurred during this time period. The movement began with Martin Luther King and Stokely Carmichael, while Malcolm X preached about black nationalism. Racial desegregation began to be included in the sports industry. The changes affected education, values, lifestyles, laws, and entertainment. If this movement had occurred during the early 1900s, Duke may not have encountered the racism that he did during his travels. He was able to overcome those difficulties and make valuable contributions to surfing.
Some of the things bearing his name include a foundation, a beach, a line of sportswear, a music and recording corporation, skateboards, surfboards, and a surfing club. Most importantly, his name is branded as an international surfing championship sponsored by the CBS television network. Duke Kahanamoku was the first person to be inducted into both the Swimming Hall of Fame and the Surfing Hall of Fame. He is also a member of the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. These accomplishments illustrate how pertinent his legend is not only throughout our nation, but throughout the world.